Hey, welcome to BreitWerks, or for some of you, welcome back. So at last we left, we had built out our clutch kit and we were getting ready to install it. So the goal here with this video is going to be not only install the clutch kit, but also get the transmission mounted. So that's what we're going to work on today. And we've got our lightweight pressure plate with the adapters and all of that good stuff. And yeah, that's our goal. So we've got our 80 millimeter bolts with wavy washers, and we're actually going to belt and suspenders this in addition to the wavy washers. I'm going to use just a little bit of blue Loctite. So I'm going to put you on the high speed, and yeah, follow along. Anything interesting happens, I'll make sure we certainly stop and talk about it. All right, only thing we have left to do is to torque stripe these little guys. Look at that. I think this is gonna get us through this build. And then we're gonna have to break out a new tube of torque stripe. Fear not, we definitely have that in stock. And good news is the transmission has entered the air-conditioned room. Let's see. Someday in the future, maybe 30 years from now, somebody's going to take this thing apart again. They're going to be like, who was this BreitWerks place? Okay, so the biggest thing we got to do now is we got to make sure that our our release arm gets over these tabs. The last one that I did, I had it perfect, put it in the car and screwing around with the bottom, hooking up the clutch. It had fallen off, but luckily the 930 transmission, you can get to it. But let's see. So I used to try to bear hug these things and put them on. Not anymore. No more bear hugs. Actually, let me show you some of the points that we're gonna look at before we get too far. So why did we put our clutch tool, alignment tool in there? Because it mimics the input shaft on the transmission, right? So we want this guy to slide in squarely. That's what the clutch tool or the alignment tool does. And then this is our release arm, right? So those little tabs have to get hooked around here and kind of locked into place. So we've got our studs in. So we're gonna pick this guy up, and yeah, I used the table, but we're gonna pick this guy up, get him aligned, and then we'll put him in gear so that when we spin the axle, the stub axles, it will actually move this guy, right? You see right now I can just spin him, and when I spin these stub axles, he doesn't move. So we got to get that in gear. So that way, as we're lining it up, we can get this guy to rotate to line up with the splines and the clutch hub. So that's what we're going to do right now. All right, so there we have it. We got the tranny mounted. So a couple things we're gonna do before we move this whole train out underneath the car. We're gonna put on the throttle bell crank, and we're gonna run some of those wires because we're gonna put the starter on. So those are the next couple things we're gonna do. Now, normally I would insist on a new starter, but guess what? Starters are not available right now. for some reason, what is this, October 2023. These things are usually a piece of cake to get, and then you core them out, but both wholesalers, no starters in stock. So what I did do though is I bench tested this guy, and he does still work. The originals are like little tanks. The rebuilt units, they're finicky. But yeah, some point in the future it'll need a starter. So what I will do is I will make sure that I put the correct hardware on here, so it's super easy to get off once it's in the car. But yeah, so next step is to bolt down our starter, hook up our wiring, and then this guy just simply runs over down here, and that is your backup, your reverse light switch. So we're gonna get that starter in, and we'll come back to you. So we got this nasty old bell crank cleaned up, but the thing is, it's perfect. It's straight, it's not warped. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull out these old bushes, and we're gonna put these new ones in, and that'll give it a whole new life. So we're gonna get on with that. All right, so there we have it. We've got our throttle cable connected, and let's see, what else? Got the starter on. Like I said, did bench test it. Got the reverse light hooked up, got starter wires on, and yeah, I think it is just about that time. And I did put the transmission mount on loose, and when we install it, I'll show you why I leave those loose until everything's in the car. So, next stop, put her in the car. Hey, thanks for watching. Check us out at BreitWerks.com, and if you want to keep following along, hit that subscribe button. Have a fantastic day.